Okay, so we're going to simplify this expression here. So the first thing I'm going to do is attack the negative exponents. Okay, so to get rid of this negative exponent, I just take the inverse of 1 over 81, which in this case is going to be 81. Right, because if I were to flip 1 over 81, it would give me 81 over 1, which is 81. Then minus 2 times 10 to the 0 is 1 over, so if I were to flip 9 over 25 to get rid of that negative, it would be 25 over 9 raised to the 1/2 divided by, so to get rid of this negative, I have to flip negative 125, which would be negative 1 over 125 to the 2/3. And of course, this whole thing is raised to the negative 2 power. So now, to get rid of these fractional exponents, I'm going to use another rule of exponents. I know I can rewrite 81 raised to the 3/4 as 81 to the 1/4 raised to the 3rd power. Because the rule of exponents states that if I have a number raised to a power, I multiply the powers. And of course, 1/4 times 3 is 3/4. This will be minus 2 over. So now, whenever I have a number raised to the 1/2 power, what I'm essentially doing is I'm taking the square root of this number. So the square root of 25 over 9 is just 5 over 3 divided by. And then I'm going to use the same trick I did here on this guy. So this will be negative 1 over 125 raised to the 1/3 power squared. Okay? And this will be all raised to the negative 2. Okay? So just like I did over here when 1/2 was the square root, 1/4 is just the 4th root. So what number times itself 4 times gives me 81? Well, 3 would be that number, because 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. So we're going to have 3 cubed minus 2 over 5/3 divided by, so here I have the cube root of negative 1 over 125. This is going to be negative 1/5, because negative 1/5 times negative 1/5 is positive 1 over 25, and then positive 1 over 25 times negative 1/5 would give me this negative 1 over 125. Negative 2. And now what we can do is 3 cubed is just 27 minus 2 over, this will be 5 over 3 divided by, so 1/5 squared, negative 1 over 5 times negative 1 over 5 is positive 1 over 25. Okay, so now what we can do is 27 minus 2 is 25. And when we divide fractions, it's the same thing as multiplying by the inverse of this guy here. So this would be 5 over 3 times 25 over 1. That's the same as division, right? And then this will be equal to 25 over, and then let's multiply fractions. I'm just going to keep this as 5 times 25 over, and then 3 times 1 is 3. Oh, I forgot that negative 2 over here, right? Okay, so now this is equal to, so let's see, I'm going to do the same thing I did here. This is going to be the same thing as 25 times, and then the inverse of this, which would be 3 over 5 times 25. And that's raised to the negative 2. Now I have 25 over 25, which is 1. So I'm left with 3 over 5 to the negative 2. To get rid of that negative, I'm going to take the inverse of 3/5. So that's the same thing as 5 over 3 squared. And then 5 over 3 squared is the same thing as 5 over 3 times 5 over 3, which is 25 over 9. So this expression reduced is 25 over 9.